Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of me working on my non-running C4 Corvette. For those of you that have been following my channel, watching some of my videos for the last, I don't know, year and a half, 18 months, 12 months, I don't know what it is, it's been a while. Corvette hasn't run. It's got some issues. I've been chasing down error codes, kind of replacing some stuff. I've been tossing around the idea of LS swapping the car, tossing around the idea of pulling out the LT1 and doing a stroker build. Kind of still not sure what I want to do with it. I got a new toy recently, got a 2016 Focus ST. I've been doing a lot of things too, so I haven't had a chance to do too much to the Corvette. Changes today. I'm gonna put another part in the car. And it's probably not going to fix it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because it's a part that if I was going to rebuild this engine or turn into a stroker, I would replace this part anyway. So I've replaced things like the oxygen sensors, the purge valve, I've replaced the map sensor, all parts that I would replace probably when I did an engine rebuild anyway. It doesn't cost a ton of money, but I just wanted to do it because it's got codes for all those issues. Well, today I'm chasing down I don't know what the code number is, C something, but it's the idle air control valve. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace that. It's not a super expensive part. Again, something that I would probably just replace during a rebuild anyway. So I'm gonna replace it now before I get crazy and cross my fingers and hope the car will start, even though deep down inside, I know it's not going to, and it's gonna sit here like this until I decide to do something like an LS swap or build the stroker, which I really want to build the stroker because then I don't have to worry about dash, computer, stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. So that's what we're gonna do today. Again, thanks for checking out the channel. Be sure to subscribe below, hit the little notification icon, all that fun stuff to see more videos of me doing stuff like not fixing my C4 Corvette. For those of you maybe wondering, the IAC, the idle air control valve, or idle air control, whatever you want to call it, is just like a little controller that works in the throttle body of a fuel-injected car to kind of control the air-fuel mixture and the idle of the car. Well, if you've seen some of my past videos, the idle is the issue, and it started out kind of slowly, gradually, it would get worse and it would get warm and it'd act up and it'd do this weird stuff. So it could be this. Most likely it's not. But this car is 26 years old now. So some of these components do start to go bad over time. Some of them can be cleaned and reused. But honestly, parts for this car are getting pretty inexpensive. So I went ahead and just ordered a replacement right here. I'll be putting this in today, seeing if it does anything for the car or not. And for today's video, we're going to be replacing the idle air control solenoid or valve, like I said, which is right down here beneath the throttle body on the car. In order to make it easier to get to it, I'm going to disconnect some of these sensors here. I'm going to pull out this intake hose so that way I have access to the screws that hold it in. There's just two screws that hold that in, one on the top, one on the bottom. I'm going to pull that out, put the new one in, screw it down, and see what happens. It's, again, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So I'm just going to start disconnecting the sensor here. There's a sensor on the mass airflow sensor up there. I'm going to disconnect the screw, or loosen the screw here, and pull this part out really quick. Now I've got the intake hose, mass airflow assembly out of the way. I'm going to disconnect the throttle position sensor right here as well. That's just kind of in the way. And then the idle air control plug, pigtail right here, disconnect. So now it's disconnected. And now you can see it's just a little torque bolt there and then down on the bottom. So we'll get a little socket to get in there and unscrew those really quick. And then it is like a T20 Torx bit socket. I'm just using a little tool set. I'll leave a link to like a tool set you can get below down on Amazon. You don't need anything fancy for this. Like I said, the only thing you're going to really need is that Torx bit there, which they have little kits kind of like this that you can buy that come with all kinds of different sizes and stuff like that. But we're just going to go ahead and pull out those two Torx bits really quick and then remove that idle air control valve there. And then once we have the two little screws out that hold it in place, just kind of wiggle it out until you get it loosened up on the seal there. And it just slides out, and yeah, that thing is as old as this car. So like I said, probably 25, 26 years old or something, and about due to be replaced. Comparison to what the new one's gonna look like in there. You see quite a, I don't know if you can see it there or not, there's not much light right there, but quite a difference between the two. And then the new one came with some screws and stuff that are a lot bigger than the old one. This is used on more than one type of vehicle, so I'm just going to use the old screws that held the original one in place. And then we're going to just clean that mounting area with a shop rag here. And you can use like simple green or some cleaning compound of your choice to make sure you have a nice clean area. We're going to mount this new solenoid. You don't want it to be all dirty and gross and not sit in there well. So yeah, just get in there, cleaned it up. Yeah, that was gross. And then just a couple other things to be aware of. It does come with some instructions, and it kind of tells you how to measure the IAC body out to the end of the nipple to make sure that it's not going to cause any damage. So make sure you do that. And then after install, it also says to drive the car at least 40 miles an hour to allow the computer to reset the idle air control valve in the car and get it adjusted properly so that way it'll idle correctly. I'm not going to be doing that just yet. I'll do that. I'll record it. It'll be part of the video and everything. But I wanted to take a minute just to show you. This is that old one I pulled out. The seal probably popped out when I removed this one. But it is dirty. It is bad. 26 years of engine car driving at 100,000 miles. I think just the Corvette just has on it right now. So not necessarily sure that this was bad. I did get a diagnostic test code saying this was bad though, or saying it wasn't reading properly or allowing the car to control idle properly. So I went ahead and replaced. Like I said, pretty inexpensive part, less than $100 depending on where you get it from. Super simple to do. Like, I don't know, that was maybe 3 minutes to pull this one out, put the new one in. The only thing that sucks is the bottom screw is kind of a pain in the butt to get to, but just use an extension on a Torx bit, not a problem to get it out. All right, guys, so when I was doing the idle air control valve install, I had noticed something. This plate that goes on top of the throttle body here, the gaskets were actually sticking out, and there was a leak coming in on the gaskets at the front up here, it looks like, which is probably allowing some air to get in here. And you can see they're kind of tore in a couple different places. So that may be contributing to the problem I've been having, but I'm not sure. So I ordered a new gasket for it, and that's coming. So I'm going to get that put on before I try to fire up the car with that new idle air control valve, just because I figured I had a vacuum leak somewhere based on how the car's been kind of not running. So we're going to throw that on there, put that back together, and see if we can fire it up and see if we can get this thing running finally. All right, well, new throttle plate, gasket, whatever it's called, here. I also took the opportunity to upgrade my throttle plate to something a little cool. Went ahead and updated that to a nice little engraved LT1 logo there, just to set it off a little bit. I'm just going through, checking to make sure my wires are hooked back up on everything. Again, there's that idle air control valve right down in there, new one in place. Now I've got new map sensor, new idle air control valve, new oxygen sensors, new OptiSpark, new coil right down here. All kinds of new parts. I don't know if it's going to run or not. I mean, maybe, but we'll see. Like I said, there's probably something still a little bit more severe going on, but wanted to go ahead and swap that out. It wasn't very expensive. It was actually really inexpensive. So there it is. Just a quick update for you guys. In the video, I replaced the idle air control valve, and then during the process, I found that throttle body gasket that was definitely leaking. And the C35 code is a code for the idle air control valve or a vacuum leak in the throttle body. So honestly, both those things were probably contributing to that code a little bit. So I needed to replace them anyway. That C35 code is the last diagnostic trouble code I've been chasing down. I've already replaced things like the EGR valve solenoid, map sensor, all of those things that I did have codes for as well. So all those codes should be cleared now. I will tell you, I don't have a video of it, but I did try to start the car and it fired right up. It seemed to run way better than it didn't seem to. It definitely ran way better than it has up to this point. The idle's still not quite perfect, but in order for that idle air control valve to work properly, the computer has to set it. And in order to set it, you have to drive the car like 40 miles an hour, get it warmed up so the computer can adjust that valve. I live in Iowa. It's snowy and cold and icy out right now, so I can't do that part of it. So unfortunately, I don't know for sure if this is the fix for the problem I've had for the last year and a half. Seems like it might be, but I won't know until I can do that. Unfortunately, that might not be for another 3 or 4 months now until winter's over. So I will get that video up at some point. Hopefully that was the fix for the car, so that way I can at least drive it this year, because I miss driving my Corvette. It's a super fun car. So I do have some more things I'm going to be doing the Corvette over the next few months though this winter. So I will have some more Corvette content coming up for those of you that like to watch the Corvette content. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe down below and hit that little notification icon so you get notified when I do post up more videos. Appreciate the support. Be sure to like the video if you liked it. Leave any comments below. And until next time.